Peace everyone, welcome back to another video. This one is what I ate for dinner, and it's vegan chili with cornbread, perfect for winter nights, but I had it in July and it was just as good. So I hope you guys enjoy and I hope you try this recipe. Let's go ahead and get started. So here I'm just starting off with a white onion. It's pretty small, so I'm going to use the whole thing, and I'm just going to cut it up and dice it really well, followed by a green bell pepper. I like to use green because it has that really savory taste, but I'm also going to use a red one for that sweet flavor. And I'm just chopping everything up and dicing it. It doesn't have to be too fine. The big chunks are fine. It's chili anyway, so it works. And lastly, I'm going to chop up some garlic really fine to make sure all of that flavor is released into the chili. And that's it for our seasonings. And I'm just going to put some extra virgin olive oil into my pot. That way I can saute all the yummy peppers and onions until they're nice and fragrant. The seasonings I'm using here is going to be salt, garlic powder, chili powder, cayenne pepper, onion powder, and regular pepper. And I'm just going to season it to taste. I go light with the cayenne because I don't want it to be too spicy. I just want a little bit of heat, and then a very little amount of salt, and just allow everything to cook down. The chili powder, you don't have to go light with it at all because this is chili. So I added about 2 tablespoons starting off, and I add more throughout the recipe. For my beef substitute, I'm using the gardening beefless ground, which is my favorite. This chili can go without it though, honestly, because the beans make it really hearty, but this just helps. And if you're feeding it to non-vegans, then it helps with the transition. As for my beans, I'm going to put them all into the colander, and I'm going to make sure I rinse them really well since I am using canned beans, and then I'll add that to my pot as well. After giving everything a good mix and making sure the beans are combined, I'm going to add some tomato sauce. This is an 8-ounce can, and I use 2 of them, as well as some tomato paste. And again, I'm going to give everything a good mix to make sure it's combined. Tomato paste is really thick, so you're going to want to spoon this out instead of just trying to dump it into the pot. And just make sure it's mixed in and combined before you go in with your water. Now, you can use water or you can use veggie broth, whichever, but the water is going to cut down on a lot of sodium, and it tastes just as good. Now I'm going to add I use the Rotel brand, but you can use any diced tomatoes with chilies and it'll work fine. You just want to mix it up and allow everything to cook down. Allow a lot of that liquid to cook out of your chili for a good, chunky, hearty chili. Now for the cornbread, I like to make mine in a cast iron skillet, and I'm going to coat the bottom with a generous amount of olive oil and put it in a heated oven. This is like my secret. So for the binder, I'm using ground flaxseed. These were whole, and I just threw them in the blender to grind them. And for my cornbread mix, I'm going to be using the tried and true Jiffy, but the vegetarian version, and I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of water for every 1 tablespoon of flaxseed to make my quote-unquote flax egg. I'm going to use the same amount of almond milk that's recommended on the box, which is 1/3 of a cup, and I'm just going to mix and combine that really well. Now I'm going to add in the last ingredient and the most important, which is the cornbread mix, and I'm just going to whip that up until the consistency is perfect. Now I'm going to take my pan out of the oven, and the oil should be nice and hot, and I'm just going to pour in my batter right into the pan, and you can see where the hot oil is already starting to cook the edges of the cornbread, and it makes it really like light and crispy, and it makes you want to go for the edges first. And then I'm just going to put it in the oven for the recommended 15 to 20 minutes, and after that it will be done, ready to eat. And here's the finished product. The color may be slightly different from regular non-vegan cornbread, but it tastes just as good. And here's the chili ready to go. All that extra liquid has cooked out of it, and it's nice and chunky and hearty. And I'm just going to top it with some vegan cheese. You guys, if you have plain vegan yogurt, that serves as a great substitute for sour cream. Top it with some green onion and whatever else you like to eat with your chili. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please make this recipe and let me know what you think. I hope you enjoy it, and stay tuned for the next video. Peace, y'all.